All right. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Friday night. It is 7 p.m. And that can only mean one thing. It is time for another episode of Histo Chat. Hope everyone's had a good week. I have had an especially great week. What is up, Matt? How's the editing going? Um, I've been on vacation all week, so you can imagine I've had a particularly good week. So, good for me. Unfortunately, though, that is going to end with the coming Monday. But I've got one more activity I'm going to do before my vacation is over. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, I am going to get our footage rolling here. We've got some new stuff on this week's stream, so we're going to get into it. And right off the bat, we have a new ship in the footage. We are looking at the USS New Orleans, CA-32. What is up, Wolf? How has your week been, my friend? Hope you guys have had a great week. Matt, going good. I haven't started editing yet, just sorting out the photos. I don't know. I kind of wanted to eat that picture you showed me earlier. Oh, wow. And I suck a ship right off the bat. USS New Orleans, folks. Yes, Wolf. She is here. The New Orleans has arrived in the All American Travels fleet. She is finally here. And joining us this week, we have our usual suspects Titanic and Britannic. We have down here the big U, SS United States. In the far background, we have the mighty Mo, USS Missouri. And here she is, the USS New Orleans, CA-32. And she was the lead ship of her class, New Orleans class cruiser. And we'll be talking a little bit about her in just a minute. Of course, I've got this down here, waiting in the wings, although actually that is not the next ship I'm going to be working on. There will be a build video of that model of the USS New Orleans as well, coming down the pipes. Matt says, did you enter the warships code and see what it gets you? I don't think I did, Matt. Can you can you send me some information on that? I don't think I'm familiar with that. Wolf says, I'm doing great as usual. Awesome. I'm glad to hear it. And the ship looks great. Thank you very much. Little pull back the curtain just a bit. The next ship I am working on is the USS Kidd. Of course, everybody knows she's one of my favorites. I've been on her several times. The thing is, though, there are no model kits of the Kidd. So what I had to do was I bought a model, a 1 to 350 scale of USS the Sullivans, which is a identical sister ship to the Kidd, and I'm going to make a conversion. I'm going to convert the Sullivans to the Kidd, and I'm going to have some custom decals made for that. A few other things I've got down the pipe. As you saw, I've got the Olympic model there that I'm going to be building in the future. Also going to buy two Titanic models in the same scale that the Olympic model is in. I'm going to build a Titanic, and then I'm going to use the other Titanic model to make a conversion to the Britannic. And I've already started ordering some 3D printed parts that make it possible to do that conversion. So when it's all said and done, I'm going to have all of the Olympic class ships in 1/700 scale. You can imagine how much that makes me happy. Let's see. It's really strange there isn't a model for her, right? And you would think even more so because I watched that movie Greyhound, I think last night or night before, and the Kidd is the starship of the movie, Well, she's playing the role of the USS Greyhound, but it is the kid. And in the there's three different making of little featurettes that you can watch with it, and they're very clearly talking about the kid, and the kid even gets a name drop in the movie. Although she, like I said, she's portraying the Greyhound, but in the context of the story, you never actually see the kid. But yeah, so two conversions. I'll be converting the Sullivans to the kid, and I will be converting one Titanic model to Britannic. Matt, of course, I can't find anything on the code I seen yesterday. It's no big deal. Doing that yawning thing again. Gotta figure out why I keep doing that every week. But anyway, so as you may or may not have noticed, there was no video of the week for this week. We will have one next week. I've been doing a lot of other things, catching up on a lot of things. I finished the New Orleans model this week. I started on the kid, and I've actually got really a lot of good progress done on the kid already. It shouldn't take me too long to do that model. So, but the videos of the week will be back again starting next Friday. Now, by the time we live stream next Friday, two things will have happened before next Friday's stream. One, Thanksgiving, next Thursday. Also, the anniversary of the sinking of the Britannic. And as a reminder, next week's live stream will be totally dedicated to the Britannic. We're going to take a look at her. We're going to play out the real-time sinking in Britannic, Patroness of the Mediterranean, which is a quote-unquote game on Steam. Also, if you're interested, Titanic Honor and Glory have done a video of the sinking of the Britannic. And it's actually, for those who may not know, it's the real-time sinking of the Britannic is it's only 53 minutes long. That's how long it took the ship to sink. So it's not a long thing at all. Wolf says, looking forward to that. Definitely. Yeah, if you don't know much about the Britannic, tune in next week. Bring your learning cap because I'm not the foremost expert on her, but I do know a good bit about her, and I know a good bit about the sinking. So we're going to be going through it step by step. But also, as I was going to say, Titanic Honor and Glory have done a real-time sinking video, and I believe they are going to be live streaming that on Tuesday, the 21st, which is the anniversary of the sinking. So we're going to do that here on next Friday's live stream because I can't compete with Honor and Glory. They've got a whole lot more resources, knowledge, and more people are going to be tuning into them than tuning into me. And I would like to see their stream as well, so I can watch their this new video they have, because it is going to be more accurate than Patroness of the Mediterranean. But it's it's okay. It's not a big deal. For the most part, Patroness of the Mediterranean is pretty accurate. What the game does not show you is that I can remember correctly is the funnels collapsing. That does not happen in Patroness of the Mediterranean, and I already know just by watching the trailer for Honor and Glory's video that their brand new real-time sinking video is in fact going to have that. Matt found it, sent it to you in Messenger. Awesome. I will take a look at that and probably play some warships after the stream is over. So, as I said earlier, I've been on vacation all week, so you guys are probably wondering about my trip to Galveston. That was it was interesting, to say the least. So I went to Galveston this past weekend. I booked a dry dock tour of the USS Texas, and that was the main reason for going to Galveston. I need something to drink, guys. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. All right, sorry about that. So I'm gonna just keep my drink right here next to me, so I don't have to keep getting up. So my trip to Galveston was interesting, to say the least. My number one goal, like I just said, was to do a dry dock tour of the USS Texas. Also, I wanted to check out two other museum ships that are there, which is the USS Stewart, which is a destroyer, and the USS Cavala, which is a submarine. I was able to do all of that in 1 day, but I really wasn't intending to do all of that in 1 day. So I got into Galveston. I got to my hotel at 4:30 in the afternoon, and that's where some of the negative aspects of the trip began, pretty much instantly. So I don't know if I clicked the wrong hotel or I just did not do enough due diligence when booking the room, but uh, wait, pretty impressive. You saw all of those in 1 day. Yeah, well, and I'm going to explain to you in just a minute how I was able to do that. So I get to the hotel at 4:30 in the afternoon. I check in and I go into the room, and I kid you not, it was probably the most disgusting hotel room I've ever stepped foot in. It was awful. So I walk in, and the furniture in there looks older than me. So that was a strike already. And then I go I go to the bathroom, and I'm in there. After I flushed the toilet, and that took out the first roach. So that killed the flushing the toilet killed the first roach because it went down the drain with other stuff. After about 15 minutes of walking on the floor barefoot, my feet were black. Black as the bottom of my shoes. So that tells you how long it's been since someone swept or mopped in this room. So, strike two. Then, oh, we got sunk ship. Then, 20 minutes or so after that, I've got, how in a hotel room you've always got, between the two beds, they've got the little nightstand or whatever. Well, I had, some of my, Matt says, ew, yeah, wait, I'm not done yet. So after that, about 20 minutes or so, I look over to my stuff that's on that little nightstand between the beds. I thought this was histo chat, not horror chat, right? Wait, I'm not done yet. So I'm looking over at my stuff that's sitting on the nightstand. See a roach crawling on my stuff. I went to swat it off. It jumped off and landed on the floor. Smashed that one. Not even 5 minutes after that, I see my stuff that's over, like my suitcase and all my big items on a table next to the wall. See a roach crawling up on there. It's like, oh my god, what in the hell? So that one goes on the floor, splat, smash that one. I'm sitting there in this room, and my anxiety is like really amping up because I'm just creeped out over the thought, or just disgusted over the thought of things crawling on me while I'm asleep in this room. And actually, the LSU game was going on at the same time. So I'm trying to watch the game. I'm trying to convince myself that it'll be okay. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. When the game went to halftime, got on the phone, started looking around, calling around for other rooms, found another room, left. I was like, this is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. And again, I don't know if I clicked the wrong room and didn't notice it, or did I just not do enough due diligence. The downside also was I got a rewards program that I used to get the room, so I basically had the room for free. I mean, it was extremely cheap. So now, like I said, I left the room. I left the hotel. I can't stay in something like that. It's just not going to happen. I would rather go back home and miss out on my tour than stay in a room like that. That's just me. Ain't judging anybody else. That's just me. So get back. I go to the other room, and I booked that for 2 nights. I was like, we'll see how it goes, because I didn't factor in that much extra money for a hotel, because, like I said, I had already gotten a room for practically free. That should have clued me in, honestly. It really should have, but for whatever reason, it did not. What's up, Nathan? How are you, man? How did your week go? We are discussing my trip to Galveston right now. Wolf says, man, that really sucks. Yeah, Wolf, it really did. So anyway, I was in a much cleaner, nicer room, so anxiety levels they came back down, and I was fine. Well, the next morning, which is a Sunday morning, uh, I decided to go check out the Galveston seawall, because that's something I've always wanted to see, and check out the nice pier that's got basically a giant amusement park on the pier itself. I got to see that. Drove around the historic section of Galveston, which is actually really nice. That was a nice part of town. Reminded me a lot of like old school New Orleans, like in some of the older areas in New Orleans, the way they had the streets set up, some of the housing. Very nice section of town. Nathan, by the way, I nearly forgot a car I may look at in a couple of years, Toyota Avalon. Okay. Avalons are discontinued, by the way, just so you know. I mean, of course, you'll still be able to get parts for the newer ones. We had a good session last night. Yeah, we absolutely did. I'll probably be playing some more after the stream tonight. So yeah, drove around the downtown part of Galveston and just kind of hung out until it was time to go to my tour of the Texas, which happened at around 11:30 was my tour time. So they're great used cars, though. Yes, yes, Nathan. Avalon is a good car, obviously. I'm a Toyota guy, but so I went through my tour, the way they do it is you get there, you check in, not at the ship. They've got it fenced off, and they had like a little overhang or whatever. You check in right there, and you can buy souvenirs right there if you want. We had to have some type of eyewear. You have to have that on. If you have eyeglasses, if you wear regular eyeglasses, that was fine. If not, you had to wear safety glasses provided by them. You have to wear a hard hat, again, provided by them. The dress code was pants, no shorts. You have to wear shoes that are completely enclosed, no flip flops, sandals, anything like that. Um, I think that was it as far as the dress code. And then you get on little go karts, and they shuttle you over to the dry dock where the ship is, and you do the tour of the ship. And to see that thing in person is pretty stinking amazing. See, Nathan says, my grandma has an '07 that's still being driven to this day. It's outlasted our '06 Taurus. We got turned around the same time we got her the car. Well, I'm not the least bit surprised that an Avalon outlasted a Taurus. But we got to do it's a guided tour. You can't just walk around, and you have to stay within your group. Your tour guide will let you know when it's okay to go up to the ship and when it's okay to touch the ship, which we did actually quite a bit of. Um, I remember at one point, you start off on the starboard side, at the bow on the starboard side, and you work your way around the ship. And when we got to the port side, we went. Now the ship is sitting on blocks. The ship weighs 27,000 pounds, and each block that it's sitting on, I forget they said it was each block supported like 240,000 something pounds per square inch or something like that. So bet it was pretty awesome being under USS Texas. It absolutely was, and I'm getting to one of my favorite parts here. Um, so we're on the port side, and we're working our way forward. And I wasn't gonna go completely underneath the ship because paranoid about being under this thing that, if it falls, I'm going like that. But after he reassured us about the safety of it, I was like, okay. When I saw other people, I just saw myself like I didn't even think about it. I just kind of saw myself just getting closer and closer and closer. And it's a part where it's also sitting really low to the ground. The middle of the ship, like so. Let's do this. I'm gonna get the Arizona. So imagine this is the Texas, and again, this is the port side. We're walking our way forward up to the bow. About this point right here is where we went completely to the center of the bottom of the ship, and we touched right here and on the keel, which was still the original keel of the ship. And when you get to that point, Nathan, I see those LSU shorts. Hell yes, go Tigers. Yeah, and that's why I'm using the Arizona Wolf, obviously, for the similarities. Arizona resembles the Texas in my fleet more than any other ship. But yeah, so we're underneath the ship right here at the very bottom, and I'm touching the keel, the original part of the ship that was laid down in 1911, 1912, whatever it was. And the ship is actually still sitting like pretty low to the ground. Like, so imagine if my hand is the ground, and this is the bottom of the ship. You've only got like very little bit of clearance. So when you get to that point, it's almost, and I see why they tell you to wear a hard hat, because I bumped my head on the bottom of the ship a few times, so that's why they want you wearing a hard hat. So when you get that close, when you're at that very bottom, you cannot stand up straight. You don't have to crawl, but it's almost like you're squatting and walking because it's that low to the ground. Um, it was 1911. I'm pretty sure. Wolf says, "Yeah, I'm fairly certain you're right." I want to say she was launched in May of 1912, which puts it her launching a little over a month after Titanic's maiden voyage. So that gives you, anyone who doesn't know, that gives you an idea of how old the Texas is. So after we do that, and we're coming around from here, and again we're walking forward. We're walking forward. When we get to about this section right here on the tour, there is a part of the hull that was opened up right here, and we could go and look inside of the hull right here. And of course, I stuck my phone in, turned the flash on, and grabbed a couple of photos. And that was pretty sweet. And then the tour ends, when you get to the bow here on the port side. Do I got this right? Do I have it in camera? Yeah, I do. It's opposite for me. So yeah, it ends right here. We took the big group photo. All in all, the tour took about 2 hours. It was supposed to be like an hour and 45 minutes. We went an extra 15 minutes. And some other cool things that we saw while we were doing the tour, when you get over here to the stern section by the rudder, you look across the channel, and there were like two cruise ships lined up, because that's where the cruise terminals are in Galveston, is across the channel from this dry dock where the Texas is. Laid down April 17th, 1911, launched May 18th, 1912. Yeah, so she launched a little over a month after Titanic's maiden voyage. So again, if you don't know how old the Texas is, that should put it in perspective for you. But yeah, I got to look at those cruise ships, got to see there were dolphins swimming right at the edge of the dry dock. I'm looking over the edge of the dry dock, and I'm seeing dolphins, and not just one or two. There were like 5 or 6 of them at the very least. So that was pretty cool to see that too. Real dolphins. Not in an aquarium or anything. Out. In the wild, so to speak. Will says, I'm not a big fan of cruise ships, but it must be pretty awesome to see those behemoths. It was, and there's another one I'm going to get to in a minute. The Carnival Dream was one of them, which, it was large, of course, but not one of the Oasis class ships, the largest in the world. It wasn't quite that large. I forget what the other ship was, but the Carnival Dream was actually the smallest one of the 3 that I saw. But you can only see 2 right there from the dry dock where the Texas is. And let's see. Oh, let me go show you guys my my magnet souvenir. So for those of you who do not know, I every time I go to a museum ship, my souvenir is a magnet. They're cheap, they're cool, they always look different. So this is my one from the Texas tour. They actually had one that said Battleship Texas Dry Dock Tour, but they were out of those. So I went with this one. Yeah, well, this is the one that I got, Matt, right here. I did get one from the Texas. They said I wanted the one that said Dry Dock Tour, and it was actually kind of a cooler design, but they were out of those. So that's the one I got. So let me grab a swig of drink here real quick. Okay. So I didn't get magnets, Matt, and but I obviously got it for the Texas. So that tour ended around. Actually, I want to say I left the Texas around 2 o'clock, if I remember right. No, I really don't remember what time I left. But anyway, When you leave the Texas, um, the other two ships that I saw were at the Galveston Naval Museum, which is located at Seawolf Park, which is like 2 minutes further down the road from where the Texas is. So I went there and I got to tour the USS Stewart again, which is a destroyer, the USS Cavala, which is a submarine, and the Cavala's got an interesting story behind her in that she was called the Pearl Harbor Avenger because of one fact. The Japanese aircraft carrier Shokaku participated in the attack on Pearl Harbor. Well, the Kavala engaged in conflict with Shokaku after Pearl Harbor, torpedoed and sunk the Shokaku. And I'm going to go get my brochure from the museum so you guys can see that. So they give you this when you buy your ticket. You can see it's got a picture of both the Cavala and the Stewart on it. And on the back, they give you a little quick information about both of them. And you can see Cavala, she had a nickname, the Lucky Lady. History: sank the Japanese Navy carrier Shikaku that attacked Pearl Harbor in 1941. The crew received the Presidential Unit Citation. Stewart, she does not have quite as an interesting history as like Cavala or like the Kid, but she's cool all the same. She's a great looking ship on the outside. She looks fantastic. I love the design of the ship. History: she conducted 30 plus missions in the North Atlantic, saved 15 plus merchant sailors when two freighters collided. And she has the nickname President's Escort. I'm going to have to actually look and see if one of the presidents, I assume one of the presidents actually sailed on this ship at some point. Maybe that's how she got the name. Cavala is so cool. Yes, she is. And she was definitely the reason why I wanted to go. For those who don't know, she is and I'd never figure out how to pronounce it correctly. It's GATO. It's either Gato class or Gato class submarine. She is a sister ship to the USS Drum, which you can see if you go to tour the USS Alabama. The Drum is there. The Drum was never modernized, so the Drum and the Cavala, even though they're sister ships, they look nothing alike. Not even close. They're more like distant cousins than sisters. But my thoughts on that museum, I have mixed feelings about the Galveston Naval Museum. While the ships themselves were fantastic, love seeing the ships, and I'm glad that they're there. I'm glad that they're preserved. Um, there's a couple of things that I didn't care for. Firstly, being so, as I said, the Naval Museum is part of Seawolf Park. So, you got a park there. It's got a playground. People do fishing there because it's right there on the edge of the water. You have to pay $13 to park there, even if you're not using the park. Even if you're going to just do the museum, you still have to pay the $13 to have access to the park. So the ticket to view the museum was only like $10. So I mean that's no big deal. I don't care about that. But in the end, you pay like $26 because you got to pay to park in the park, and then you have access to the museum. Um, Cavala took about 20 minutes or so to tour because submarines, they're small, they're enclosed, they're cramped. It does not take long to tour a submarine. And I knew this going in because I've been on the Drum several times. Isn't there a sub conning tower at the park? Yes, Wolf. It's right at the bow of the Cavala. And I do apologize. I forget which sub it's for, but yes, it is there. Um, but yeah, it takes you about 20 minutes or so to get through the Cavala. I was expecting to. see or be on the Stewart longer because I mean obviously it's a larger ship. In comparison, the Kid is the closest thing I can compare it to because they're both destroyers. It probably takes a little over an hour, hour and a half at the most to see everything on the Kid. The Matt says, "What is a conning tower?" Wolf, if you would do the honors and explain it to Matt, I would appreciate that. Um, so it probably took about 30 minutes or so to do the tour of the Stewart, which I was kind of disappointed in because um, there was a lot of restoration work, so a whole bunch of the ship was roped off. You did not get to see a bunch of the interiors of the ship, so I was kind of bummed with that. So I gotta say, like out of all the museum ships, and that includes not just the ships themselves, but the buildings that you tour while you're at these museums. This one was probably my least favorite. I do feel like the uh, the other ones I've been to, I feel like they do a better job with their having more artifacts for you to see, being able to access more of the ships than what this one did. Let's see. Given it's called Seawolf Park, maybe it's a conning tower for USS Seawolf. Yeah, and yeah, the conning tower is the giant superstructure part on the top of the sub's hull. So there you go. Maybe so, Wolf. And I should have looked into that before we started streaming. I should have looked into it when I was there, but I didn't think about it. But but yeah, going back to just not just the ships, but as a museum experience, I feel like what's up, Billy? No hugs. Yeah, well, we're not a hug free channel, e-hugs, there you go. So anyway, I just, even with the Kid having one ship, the North Carolina being one ship, the Midway being one ship, although a massive ship, I mean massive. I feel like those, and of course the Alabama, did a better job as far as presentation, artifacts, things you can do and see while you were visiting the respective museums. Now, does that mean you should pass on going to the Galveston Museum if you're in Galveston? Absolutely not. If you are a fan of ships the way I am, like the way Wolf is, and Wolf, you ever go to Galveston, absolutely check it out. It's it's being able to be on the ships alone is a cool experience. So keep that in mind. I was disappointed in their gift shop, like or their souvenir shop, whatever you want to call it. There's really not much in there. It's like a tiny trailer, the size of like the shed in your dad's backyard or your backyard. And I always like to buy a shirt for each ship I've been on and a magnet. Didn't get a shirt for the Texas because they didn't have any. The They had individual shirts for both the Cavala and the Stewart, but they were both long sleeve, and I don't want long sleeve shirts. I want short sleeve shirts. Where we live, more times than not, we need short sleeve shirts than long sleeve shirts. Um, they did not have any individual magnets for each ship. All they had was like generic Galveston Naval Museum magnets. I wanted a magnet for the Stewart. I wanted a magnum for the magnet, not magnum, for the Cavala. Was not able to get those. The conning tower belongs to USS Tautog, Tautog. Okay. So those are those are the thoughts on what on my opinion on the museum. I would still recommend going see it. And I will be going back to Galveston once the Texas opens as a museum and you can actually go on the ship. I will 100% be going back. Um, so after that was done, so yeah, I probably spent about an hour and a half at the most at the Naval Museum. Went to a nice barbecue place that was along the road that runs alongside the beach. And now, mind you, it's been raining ever since I got there. From when I pulled into Galveston at 4:30, it was already raining the whole day. It rained all day Sunday. The the pictures, I got pictures of me in front of the Texas that I posted on Discord. You see me. I've got a poncho on. So after I ate, went back to the hotel for a bit, and I was thrilled that I got to do the main two things I wanted to do, which of course was the Texas and the museum. I had originally planned to be there until Wednesday. Check the forecast Sunday night. Nothing but rain all the way up until the day I'm leaving. So that put a damper on things. Everything I had planned, 90% of it was outdoor stuff. So I had a decision to make. I can either uh, stay cooped up in a hotel for 2 more days, spending money on a hotel that I did not budget to spend for, or just cut my losses and come back home and all the things I wanted to do that I didn't get to do, I'll just do them next time. That is the decision I made. So around 7 or so in the morning, the next morning, I checked out, went to a chain that I think is only in Texas called Taco Cabana. Never tried it before, so I just wanted something that I can't get back home. So I tried that. I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. They have great queso there. Uh, let's see. Will says hopefully I'll be able to see USS Stewart and Cavallo next Sunday and next summer in maybe Texas. Yeah, Wolf, I don't know how far away you are from Galveston, but I know you're in Texas. If you get the chance, you definitely want to go see them. You will not be disappointed. And I say that, from one ship nerd to another, you will not be disappointed. Um, so yeah, tried the Taco Cabana. After that, just hit the highway and came back home. So unfortunately, the trip ended, sooner than expected. But I've got this list of everything I wanted to do that I couldn't do when the ship, like I said, when the Texas is open officially as a museum ship. I will definitely be going back, and I'm going to spend some more time out there and try to do the things I didn't get to do. So that was my trip to Galveston. Hmm. Long-winded story, right? uh, Wolf says ship nerd for life. Yes, right here with you. Ship nerds forever. I mean, hello. So, how has everyone's week been? By the way, we are still looking at, in case you haven't realized it or if you haven't been paying attention, we're still looking at the New Orleans. Um, let's see how much time we have left. We've got a little over 20 minutes left. There is going to be one more ship on here that we have never seen on the stream before. And then we're going to close it out with an old favorite. That says long story, but a good story nonetheless. Yep. So if when I get old and senile and can't remember it anymore, I can come back to the channel on the archives and listen to this. Like I said, I've got one more activity before my vacation is over, and yeah, that's pretty much how my week has been going. But I've got some really cool content for the channel. I've got some great footage of driving through historic Galveston. We're going to be seeing that. I've got some footage at the seawall. Going to be seeing that. There were two rest stops that I've never been to that stopped along the way. So we'll have two upcoming episodes of America's Rest Stops. What else? There's not going to be any footage at all on the channel of the Texas. And I know that sucks because that was the main reason I was going to Galveston. But before you start the tour, you have to sign a liability waiver, which, you know, if you die, they're not responsible. Here we go. Here it is. Brand new ship right here, folks. The RMS Aquitania. The ship Beautiful is in World of Warships. Can you believe that? Look at the Aquitania. She is so amazing. And I completely lost my chain of thought. Oh yeah, so no footage of the Texas because one, when you're there, you have to sign a liability waiver saying, you know, basically if you die, you can't sue them, and you have to sign a photo waiver. Absolutely no video whatsoever. Obviously no drones, and the photos that you take, you cannot use them for profit, and you are signing a waiver. It is a legal binding document. So, unfortunately, you will not see that. But if you go to the Discord, All American Travels on Discord, I have all the pictures posted there because, you know, I'm not making a profit on Discord. So, if you want to see all my photos from the trip or of the Texas, there you go. You can see them on the Discord in the ship's channel. Well, it says beautiful indeed. Yes, sir, she is. She was called the ship Beautiful for a reason. Her interiors, so they say, were even more extravagant than that of the Olympic class. That's how she got the nickname, the ship Beautiful. And she was the first Cunard ship to be larger than the Olympic class ships. See, Mauritania and Lusitania were built for speed. Aquitania was a slower ship than them. She was built to be larger and more luxurious than Olympic, Titanic, Britannic. So really, the Olympic class was White Star's answer to Mauritania and Lusitania. Aquitania was Cunard's answer to the Olympic class. Will says, well, when she's a museum again, I have a feeling you'll be recording a ton of footage of her. Oh, you know it. That goes without saying. Nathan, how long are y'all going to play tonight? Till we get tired of playing, how we usually do it. There will be a video of the Galveston Naval Museum, so you will get to see that. And I remember, as you can see, I got sunk in one map, and I'm just scrolling over the map in Warships, and I see an ocean liner sitting in this little harbor. And when I zoom down, jaw drops to the floor because it's the Aquitania. This right here we are. That's this lady right here. We are looking at the Britannic. Well, and actually, I wanted to close out this week with the Britannic because she will be the focus of the stream next week. This is how Britannic would have looked if she had served her intended purpose, which was to be an ocean liner. Nathan, what's the latest you'll usually play to? There's no time, Nathan. We just we play till we get tired of playing. So we're going down the decks and we're looking. This is the purser's office. If you notice at the bottom of A deck on the grand staircase, there was that giant pipe organ. Britannic was the only one of the three sisters that would have had that. And here you see this bulkhead. This watertight door is closed. And the one down the hall here, are we going to go there? Yeah, we're going down here. So on Titanic, both of these watertight doors are closed, and this is why on the wreck they cannot access the swimming pool. Well, so she would have looked beautiful. She would have been the most elegant of the three sisters. She was supposed to be, and just you could tell just by looking at her swimming pool. You know, Olympic and Titanic had nothing like this. I mean, they had a swimming pool, but it was bare bones. You know, you could still see, you know, the support beams and all that. Where she's got, Britannic would have had like all this marble tile and stuff, this nice ceiling. You know, Britannic was supposed to be the last word in luxury, putting even her sisters to shame. This is how one of the suites would have looked. We see two different suites here. Of course, in the end, she ended up looking nothing like this. Uh, would have been one. So, if John Jacob Astor would have sailed on the Britannic, this might have been his room. That's a deep pool in a ship. Hmm. Shame she was sunk by some stupid mind. 100% agree, Wolf. It sucks so bad she never got to do what she was intended to do. But you see, she had promenade decks. That was a big hit on Titanic. People loved them. So naturally, Britannic was going to have them. And WSL, White Star Line. Now, I wanted to do this week. I wanted to close out the stream this week with seeing Britannic how she was supposed to be. And this is the Georgian suite we're looking at now. I want to see Britannic how she was supposed to look this week because I don't think we're going to have enough time to do it next week when we discuss and watch the sinking of the ship. Yep, Georgian suite. I think if Britannic had achieved her intended purpose, I think it's quite possible she would have got the nickname the Ship Beautiful instead of Aquitania. But unfortunately, obviously, we'll never know that. We've got to go take a look around on the decks outside. I think I watched a video recently about. Oh no, we're going down. Here's your thing, Matt. You like the boiler rooms and the engine rooms? We're going down into Britannic's boiler room here. But I think I watched a video recently about people wanting to raise the Britannic, and uh, even though the Britannic is in much much better shape than what Titanic is, it would not be possible for basically the same reasons. In that the ship is so old. I mean, the metal and the steel, the iron, it's all so weak. Any attempt to try and mess with it, it would probably just crumble. You know, because it's been down there for so long, it's so weak and probably so brittle. Yep, here we go. Those massive boilers. Titanic had the same ones or very similar. This is a cool thing. Check this out. This wheelbarrow is still in this position on the wreck and has prevented divers from going deeper in the ship on early dives. They need something the size of a drone that can navigate through there. Well, if you know there's one ship no one ever talks about that has more of a chance to be raised than any other ship in the world, of course it would still never happen. You're going to have to fill me in on which ship that is, Wolf. I can't think of one off the top of my head. Matt, better off building a replica of the ships than raising the original. You're right, the metal would not survive. All right, here we go. We're on the decks. There's the compass platform. So the right where we're standing is roughly right about the spot where Titanic broke apart. I don't even know if anyone would build a replica of them, Matt. If you go to the Titanic Museum in Pigeon Forge and Branson, and the museums are basically identical. It's like the front half of the ship or of the building is a replica of the ship, and I think that's the closest we're ever going to get. And unfortunately, you can't like walk on the decks or anything. Now, this is one thing Britannic had that Titanic and Olympic did not have. You could go on top the bridge, and they had another compass up here. But yeah, I think that would be the closest we'll ever get to any type of replica of any of the Olympic class. And you can't walk outside on top, and like there's no replica of the decks or anything. The building is just designed to look like the exterior of the ship, and that's the closest I think we'll ever get. Seems like we're sitting right here for a good minute. Oh yeah, there we go. The wreck of the German heavy cruiser Prinz Eugen. No one, no one never died on her, so there's no morality issues. She's capsized, but she's in such shallow water you can see her propellers from the beach. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna have to take a look at that one. Of course, Britannic's big gantry davits. Even with those big old things on her, it did not stop her from just being an absolutely beautiful ship. First class entrance. So I'm just kind of admiring the view here. Now, of course, when you get more to the stern section, because of the gantry davits and all the extra lifeboats, the deck is a whole lot more cluttered, which is why Titanic did not have, and Olympic in the beginning did not have enough lifeboats to begin with. Because, well, if you go by what the movie says, the deck would look too cluttered. Yeah, because I mean, look at that. You could barely see the stern section from here. Oh wow, look at that. I could look at this for a stupid amount of time. Look at her, man. Wow, what a shot. Only issue, Wolf says, only issue is she might have radiation because she was used during the nuclear tests. So she was among USS Arkansas, Nevada, and IJN Nagato. Yeah, and I saw your thing in Discord earlier about all the ships that were used as nuclear tests. It made my heart sad that there were so many battleships used for that. Imagine if we still had, the Arkansas and the Nagato and all that, or the Nevada. Yes, yes, well, she is absolutely stunning. This, my friends, is a work of art. We love, all the Navy ships because, they kick ass and, they're badass and all that stuff. But looking at one of these old school ocean liners, these old steamships, man, these people knew how to design a good looking ship. And you can see Britannic's well deck is covered. Olympic and Titanic did not have that. And that's one of the things when you make the conversion that you have to do. Otherwise, it's not accurate. And, walking forward on her A deck. Wow. What's the red notice sign read? This vessel has triple screws. Keep clear. Uh, Paraphrasing a little bit, but that's basically what it says. Yeah, it's basically a warning: steer clear. And it makes me think of when the Titanic was leaving Southampton. Her wake was so enormous that she pulled a smaller ship, the City of New York, snapped that ship off from its ropes that had it moored, and almost collided with the Titanic as she was leaving dock for the very first time. So imagine, for example, and City of New York was a passenger ship, not a military ship. So, but I'm just using the New Orleans as an example. So imagine Titanic's leaving dock. You got this ship over here, off in the distance. That's it's moored to and as Titanic's passing, her wake is so enormous. She pulls this ship. It snaps off its ropes, and it gets like this close to the stern of the Titanic before Smith pulls some type of maneuver and is able to get the Titanic clear of this ship. And some other ships had to come, some tugs were able to catch this ship and bring it back to its dock. You didn't know that story, Wolf, about Titanic's first voyage, or leaving Southampton? Matt, man, I don't like to brag, but I think I've outdone myself on these food photos. I'm hungry. Well, I hope they think so too. That way you get the job. And here we go. We're gonna watch the sunset on Britannic here. And that's how we're going to close out the stream. Yeah, so we got about 3.5 minutes left. So again, two things will happen between now and the next stream. One is Thanksgiving. Wolf says, "I've never heard of it. Everyone just talks about the sinking." Yes, it is that is very much a true story, Wolf. That most certainly did happen. I think there might even be a photo of it. I will have to look and see, and I'll post it in Discord if there is. So, yes, for Thanksgiving will be before the next stream. I hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving. The Britannic anniversary is next Tuesday. We will be covering it and watching the real-time sinking next Friday, 7 o'clock p.m., while we observe Britannic patroness of the Mediterranean, real-time sinking. The content will always stay the same, of course. Monday through Friday, Central Standard Time. Quizzes are at 9 a.m. They're usually ship related. Random polls of the day are 10 a.m. And the daily shorts, 11 a.m. The video of the week comes out every Friday at 7 a.m. The live stream is 7 p.m. every Friday. And here she is. She just turned her lights on. And that's how we close out this week. Looking at Britannic in the evening with all of her lights on. And look at this. We're going to go down the A-deck promenade. Let's make a time machine so we can take a voyage on RMS Olympic and Aquitania. I am with you. And if we have enough time, let's book passage on the Mauritania as well. Yeah, look at her at night with her lights on. She is a piece of art. That's what she is. Yep. Thanks for stopping by, Wolf. I appreciate you guys as always. Wolf, Matt, Nathan. Oh, look at the moon coming up too. The moon is rising over Britannic. And that's how we close out with this amazing shot of Britannic at night. I will have to reboot when I'm done with the live stream, Nathan, but I will be in there shortly. Matt says after we tour the ships, we go next week in the future and get the winning lottery numbers, then come back to present day and buy a ticket. I'm down for that too. Look at her, man. Look at her. Just amazing. Yep. Give her one last look. All right, everybody. Good night. Thanks for watching. See you on the next live stream where we talk all about Britannic. And until the next time, drive safely.